Lux, Anguis here. Today's topic, ladies and gentlemen, will be about why I think why the society or the right now time we are living in is getting much more harder to live in. Everything seems to be more challenging than as of usual, or like some years back. Things getting more expensive, living gets more expensive, people are getting more challenging to handle, everything becomes more artificial and empty in a sense, and everything seems to become much more faster. Well, for me, I always look upon these things at a more holistic and spiritual perspective. What I think is going on, me personally speaking, if this resonates with you, perfect. If not, you should move along. But I feel like the earth, the whole structure of the earth is transitioning into a higher state of being. Even the earth has its own soul, has its own core, has its own being and embodiment. Earth too evolves. The earth we're living on too evolves, has an intelligence to it as well. And I feel like the earth is slowly but surely transitioning into a higher spiritual octave of its own embodiment. So what does this mean? When earth evolves, the stay on earth needs to evolve with her. And not only that, the consciousness residing on the earth needs to evolve as well. It doesn't really matter what type of spiritual evolution you are following, but it's important you are following one. You are realizing one for your own self. And the more the earth transitions into a higher octave of embodiment, the more it kind of quite naturally has the demand for its denizens who live on it. So basically, earth and all the spiritual forces associated with earth and beyond, they do want the collective to decide, the human collective to decide for oneself if they're gonna forcefully stack themselves up and who they are, who they were, and who they always want to will be, or if they collectively decide to move along and to take on the calling of their own souls. And of course, not everybody is meant or should pursue a spiritual path or evolution, of course not, but it is present in every living person who is on the earth. This spiritual nature and soul is present, this potential is present basically in every living being, humans included, everything included actually what lives, even the stones, even things which are inanimate, everything has like a intrinsic potential in them, of evolution in them. So what I feel is like, when souls and consciousness and awareness are too long in the middle, are too long stuck in their own ways, in their own being, they will be challenged, they will get put on pressure, so they can finally decide to pursue a spiritual path, be it more of the positive light, be it more of the negative light, be it both, be it in different cycles, whatever. But this side of existence must be activated, and we are still on in Vedic terms, like the ancient Indian terms, there are different cycles of existence or different cycles of Aeons, timelines, which Earths or different realms are in. We are still in a cycle of Kaliyuga. We are just about to transition into a higher or positive timeline. You know, in Kaliyuga, the timeline which is the most strife, the most negativity, the most darkness, it's as much important as the timelines of happiness, bliss, spiritual equilibrium, what else, you know. But because this pressure, this negativity, this challenge, it kind of fastens up the process to finding one's own soul calling, you know. If you are just pursuing everything in harmony and peace, it still can be accomplished. But in my opinion, much more, it takes much more time. But being in a challenging situation that demands your soul, spirit and body, flesh on every level, that it demands you, that pushes you to move forward, to get up your ass, to see things differently, to go different paths, because there are no other options. You literally must find alternatives, and one of them for sure is a spiritual living, is a spiritual path, you know. And well, since the earth as a collective is becoming more spiritual, as intelligence is becoming more in a spiritual higher frequency, so also sooner than later must also its denizens. Otherwise, if you are not doing that, if you are ignoring your soul path, if you are ignoring your spiritual side, because we are not just human / animals, we are also gods, we are also spiritual embodied beings. If you are ignoring that, Earth or the Matrix or whatever we want to call this existence will want to get rid of you, get like you to places where you actually belong, so to say. Because I do believe and I do think, and I also have my own experience, that there are different parallel universes and existences of our Earth in different universes, you know. So it basically happens, people who stay stuck out of their own free will, who stay stuck in their own old ways, who stay stuck in their old system, they have the potential to get like a very miserable life, or like unforeseeable first circumstances where they die and they transition into another existence where predominantly where they will reside in is more materialistic thinking, so to say. But the ones who are continuously, who are actively pursuing one's own growth of soul and spirit, these individuals will be heavily blessed in this timeline we are in right now. If you learn to use the darkness, the pressure, the antagonism, the heaviness of the Kaliyuga, of the timeline, of the adversary, of vampires, of demons, of, you know, the spiritual upheaval of society, of the collective, for the purpose of evolving oneself sooner, if you learn to embrace that, if you learn to use these energies properly, you only can grow immensely, you only can be blessed immensely through that. I am the best example, you know. Where I started, I was a typical spiritual Christian at some point, but I only my behind was getting roughly effed up, if you know what I mean. And because it wasn't my authentic soul calling, so I listened what my authentic soul calling was and is. It's the left-hand path, it's black magic, it's Luciferianism, and everything what comes along with it. I embraced that path. I embraced this spiritual darkness within my own self and learned to use that for my own evolution, as well for the evolution for the human spirit and soul collective. And my life has just only significantly improved by that, you know. But the moment I strayed off of that path is the moment that I'm just degrading as a soul, as a spirit, where I just feel like, oh damn, I'm completely in misalignment. If you know what I mean? So, yes, you really need to take on the calling of your own authentic soul path, whatever it may look like. You know, I know it's uncomfortable, I know it's challenging, you know, maybe your family or this and that doesn't want that, but it's about you, it's about your existence, about your soul and spirit. I don't believe you want to be effed over. I don't believe you want to get stuck and never evolve yourself. You know, you wouldn't even stay here on this video so long and listen to me if that wouldn't be the case. You want to evolve, right? Then just listen to your soul, listen to your spirit, listen to your emotion, and you do what you already had to do. You know, you do already what you have to do to move forward. You know, it's not a secret. It's not something that I'm gonna pull out of my ass for you. You already know what you have to do. Whatever it may look like. I know it's uncomfortable, but you need to do that. Because you will be highly, highly rewarded for it. And your life in this difficult now matrix or existence will, I'm telling you, will improve itself. But you need to take the opportunity. You know, you need to take this opportunity right now. Use this difficult timeline. Use this difficult change in our matrix for the purpose of adversarial and challenging and cataclysmic self-evolution. Use this as a catapult, as a rocket fuel for your growth. Otherwise, I'm telling you, if you don't use this opportunity, if you don't use this eon, this time of strife, as a soul and spirit who knows who wants to do more and who can do more, you will regret it. If you don't use it, you will regret it. I'm telling you. Yeah, more I do not have to say. That's my perspective. That's my 1 or 2 cents about why the matrix, why the earth is getting more difficult, quote unquote difficult, and what you should do in this case. It's just my opinion. If it resonates with you, perfect. I'm glad it helped you. If not, also perfect. Then this isn't for you. But other than that, NAGA bless, and we shall see and hear us again.